Hi, welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I'll be your host today. And I consider myself part of the SPTV community, not in the YouTube sense, but in the sense that I've been following it for over a year, maybe close to 2. I don't know. But Doug, oh God, I don't even know. Here, I'll just play the video.
This is a very sad day, or yesterday was a very sad day. Today remains that day. I'm sure a lot of you know this already and some don't, but unfortunately it appears as though ex-Scientologist and popular YouTuber Doug Scott Kramer has been found dead, I believe in his apartment in California. Doug was a very popular member of the ex-Scientologist community. As a Scientologist, he got pretty far, to be fair. But there was a sense with Doug, and by the way, we don't know what the cause of death was, and we can but speculate. But he was young; he was 50. He looked a lot younger than that. And Doug clearly struggled in a way, in my dealings with him, in a way that, all Scientologists, all ex-Scientologists, all ex-cult members struggle in different ways. But the way in which Doug struggled was immediately apparent. And we don't know what, but I don't really believe in beating around the bush and saying, whatever. It's very possible that he took his own life. We might never know. We had this with a former guest, Jesse Morton, who was a former radicalized Islamist who later repented and left and was about the same age as Doug when he departed this planet, unfortunately. And we never really got to the bottom of that either. So often these things are not ever really cleared up. But if you're just joining now, I would just reiterate that Doug was found dead. For several weeks, his family were not able to get hold of him. And it's very sad because this was a man with a lot of joy, potential joy and energy in his soul. And a lot of it was just sucked out of him by the cult of Scientology.
Yeah.
And this is yet another example where they have blood on their hands because they took someone's soul from them.
Yeah.
And they took his life. And it's really sad. And I had an actually very complicated relationship with Doug, which I'll get into. It's something I don't entirely understand, even looking back. And Doug said some things that I found hurtful. And I said some things that I don't know if he found hurtful, but he just brushed them off. But he was clearly dealing with a lot. And, I knew that then, and we know it now. There's a great little piece by Tony Ortega on the underground bunker. I'll read a bit of that, but he says that during his coverage, or I'm reading it out, during our coverage of the Danny Masterson trials, one of the best experiences we had was being interviewed by Doug Scott Kramer, a former Scientologist and actor who had operated his Dazed But Not Confused YouTube channel for several years. We first wrote about Doug in 2021, featuring one of his videos, and in more recent days, he's been basing a lot of his videos on our reports, The Underground Bunker, and giving The Underground Bunker credit. We thought he was doing very good work, had a unique voice, and we were glad to know him. Sadly, we have a friend.
Okay, I will. I debated which of these to put on.
It's just that as a survivor of unaliving, there's no coroner's report. There's nothing, so we can't tell for sure.
Can't speculate.
And,
that's right. That's right.
I've basically stopped watching Andrew Gold because he just comes across as someone who's bitter and, you know, just there for clicks, you know. And yeah, I can't watch him so much. Like I watch some things if they're interesting, but I just can't. He's so smarmy and he doesn't like the royal family, and you know, I don't like the royal family either, but he just targets one particular person, and it's just like, why? And yeah, that's all I need to know about. That's what I'd say. But Tommy says it better. You know, it's just like just remember him.
Okay.
Because we have these parasocial relationships with these people we don't even know.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna get that. Yeah, okay, it's up for sharing. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think you're right. I didn't get to get all the way through.
Hey everybody, I'm Tommy Scoble, and you're on the lifeboat. It's Tuesday.
I didn't see that until I was about to, and so, you know, I didn't get to catch very much of either one of them, you know. And hello, Misha. Yeah, we're trying to digest some very sad news about Doug Kramer from the SPTV crew. And he was only 50 years old.
Yeah, Tommy's a lot more gentle and doesn't like bring his own personal.
Yeah. That's
yeah. But hi
everybody.
I'm a little bit.
I hope you guys don't mind me doing this. I just
not at all. It's something that needs to be talked about because it's in the community. But I'm a little bit because everyone's speculating before. I've actually received a coroner's report. Like, yeah, so we can't speculate, and it's harmful to families, you know.
Yeah.
This morning when we were doing our when I was doing my first live of the day, somebody in the chat put a comment up about Doug being on. This isn't the first time that somebody has said something in the chat like that, but this is the first time it's been accurate. It's terrifying when someone says that in a live chat because you've got a bunch of people watching and there's a bunch of more people that are going to be watching, and I didn't want to comment on it until I got all of the information, and I have all of the information. Doug was found in Studio City at his home on the 11th, so that would have been yesterday, and he was found in his bed. This is heartbreaking, and I think that everybody kind of feels this way. You know, I think everybody feels this way. It's a crap situation, and Pamela says this broke my heart. He's my son's age. I'm in tears. You know what's heartbreaking about this, and people are already speculating, and that's bad form. People, in all honesty, they're speculating that he unalived himself. This is something that's already taking place on the internet. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not. I'm going to sit.
I don't want to speculate that. You know, of things can happen. Okay. Well, I'm going to continue with it.
Sit back and we're going to wait and see what the people who do this for a living tell us happened. But I'll tell you something. I was not close friends with Doug. And I don't mean we didn't like each other. I just mean that we hadn't gotten that far along where we were close friends. I met Doug when I was in LA. One time I met Doug and had spoken with Doug, and we were trying to put something together currently, actually, for 3 people in a project. And I was the third person that they called in, and Doug was one of them. And the third person who was on that project is very, very close to Doug and very close to me. But the two of us were just sort of starting to work together and correspond together. And I was on the phone with her this morning, and you know, she just said to me, he was in the best shape mentally I had ever seen him. He was happy. He had just reconnected with his mom.
Wow.
After a very, very long time of being disconnected.
Wow.
And in fact, when he first didn't put up a video and wasn't around, she and I actually had speculated in the beginning, and she said, no, I bet you he went to see his mom. You know, the two of them had been disconnected connected for so long, or that word again. There's so much about this that just keeps coming back to what this cult does to families, right? They just keep coming back to what this cult does to family. Yes, see, I agree with this. Everybody that I've talked to has said this, but I watched a video before I went live. Look, I'm going to keep it real. I had this thumbnail done 3 minutes after. I had this thumbnail done 3 minutes after and I had been on the phone.
The fact that he connected with his mom tells me that that's not a place he would have been in. I could be wrong. I hope I'm. Oh man.
There's so many things going on in the world that it could have been anything. That's why we shouldn't speculate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm okay,
a
Henny.
couple of minutes after the live feed, getting the verification on this, the coroner's officer report and all that I had within about 15 minutes after we were live. But I don't want to. This is a video I don't want to make, right? I mean, if he were on the boat all the time, I'd have a tie on and we'd be talking about this because he was, I knew him well, and I don't, and I don't want to be a dude that capitalizes on this dude's death. I didn't put, ex-Scientologist found dead in home. You watch. You're going to see a lot of that. Because this is everyone who's worried about him. They know what to look for and they know what to Google. And I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to capitalize on this. I don't want to. I just kind of wanted to come up here and give people a place to grieve. I know that there's a lot of my audience who are very, very close, very, very close to Doug. But out of respect for his family and for everything else, I just my thumbnail just says rest in peace, and I don't. He is gone. He's absolutely gone. Yes, and people have capitalized on it and are making videos on it, and of course they're going to. Said to me this morning, Doug Kramer is a person who makes YouTube videos. Very, very talented YouTuber, and he's been in YouTube a long time. His channel may not reflect that because he had changed channels a few times. But FedEx just dropped something off. But there were all kinds of things that he had been trained in that kind of multimedia kind of stuff. He was wildly talented.
Yeah,
he really was. And I'm not doing this because he's no longer here. He was talented when he was here. He was just a very, very creative guy and was a wizard with editing, and we got into a rabbit hole discussion the very first time we talked about virtually every single thing you could talk about, MK Ultra and mind control and whether the deep state is rooted, and just a lot of really fascinating stuff that he had really deep theories on that were not pulled from his backside. This is a guy that spent a lot of time doing research, and he made
Christy's trying to get in.
It's fun to watch, and he's going to be
here.
He did a whole lot of exposing of what the church was doing, the Church of Scientology, the cult was doing, and it's a voice that's going to be missed. You know? He was good at what he did, and by all accounts, he was a really good dude. I heard from two different people, and I found this very, very odd, but I heard from two different people at two different times that he really struggled with what his participation in the cult did. Sorry, people. What his participation in the cult did to others. And I found that remarkable that this was a takeaway. And I after he passed, I called one of them and said, "Is there a video where He said, "No, it's not. There's not a video where he talks about it. It was just something that he talked about a lot." This dude was OT3. So if you're familiar with the Scientology bridge to absolute,
I thought he got higher up than that.
OT8 is the highest of the OT levels, except for 9 and 10, which don't exist. that's another one. They claim they do, but no one's done them, and things like that. So, but at OT3, operating Thetan level 3 is where they're going to tell you what happened with the with Xenu the Galactic Overlord sending down all of the Thetans and then touching off hydrogen bombs on top of the volcanoes. They put them in, set up the soul catcher and all of that jazz.
I just a bunch of starlings flying over. They're just right over here congregating.
They fly in my back, out the back of my house too. They're so pretty to watch.
They are.
They are. They just landed in my oak tree.
And because my nickname's Cosmic, I'm like, starlings. But yeah.
There you go.
Well, this is just, I learned this just before I went on. I was out doing errands. And so I didn't really get to see anybody talk about it or absorb it. And it caught me off guard, I'm going to confess.
I was watching last night as Tommy heard the news, and it was very shocking because everyone started speculating. Someone said it was murder, and I was just like, we've got to stop.
Yeah.
People need to stop. And I was just in shock, and I had the worst I've had nightmares all night.
It's the first thing the mind goes to. Why? What happened? And your mind just will drive you crazy. So you got to fill that with something,
Well, see, my thing is I don't do that anymore. Not since I've gone through some of the speculations that where people were speculating, especially Andrew Gold. It's just like I had the worst nightmares last night. It broke through my PTSD medication, and yeah, and I'm actually feeling better, as far as my health goes. But I woke up and I'm just like, man, that night was terrible. It was like a horror movie, and it was because of some of the things people were saying, and it's just like I had to comments off and just watch the lifeboat because that's my nighttime routine. If I can't sleep, I go on and listen to the sweet dulcet tones of Tommy.
Yeah.
And and it was just like I just couldn't. It's just speculation is something that ruins lives.
Yeah.
Especially coming from people on the internet, because I know that people care. And it's different to what this group is. We kind of know each other in a personal way. We know each other in a personal, we know personal things about each other. Whereas these people who are in the chat who don't get to talk like we do to their, I don't know, I guess it's like a fandom in a way,
Yeah.
And that's actually what I wanted to talk about today. I was thinking about it in the car. I was crying. I don't know, emotional. But yeah, it was just like we create these. Some people create these false images. Like there was someone in I don't know if it's come up yet, who said that he looked like he just needed a hug. We don't know that. We don't know him. We just know what we see of him through those moments that he's talking about a traumatic experience. But every other moment of his life when he's not thinking about Scientology, but he could have been walking around, skipping, happy, laughing. We don't know. We don't know. We just don't know. And that goes for everybody. We don't know what happens behind the screen, and that's goes. You all know what happens because I'm an open book basically. But for most people, Facebook is where they put the good things, not the bad things. Or this sort of stuff. So we don't.
Part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, I put the bad things too, because it's like I said to my brother yesterday. Facebook's for me. It's like I can look back on it for as long as it's there and see what happened last year or the year before or 10 years ago. Or I hate to tell you how long I've been on Facebook, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've been on since 2007.
Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and my brother goes, yeah, but the world also sees it too, and it says, yeah, but the stuff I'm saying, maybe the world should see it. and I don't care. It's my Facebook.
Mhm.
Bro. Cuzzy bro. Yeah.
I want to acknowledge what Misha said. Went through 7 months of police department letting Christina's murder be classified as suicide. It would have been that way forever if he hadn't killed someone else. Speculation is hurtful.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, see,
It is.
there was none of that in my situation because I was a witness. So, but it was
Yeah.
completely different. It was a self-harm. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's why Andrew Gold thing hurt me so much. And I
I'm
watched
sorry.
it.
I'm sorry, Cosmic. I didn't
Oh, no,
know
no.
that he was going to get into ugly things.
No, me neither. So I was just like, I just wanted to find out some proper information. And then he started talking about his own. Of all
Yeah.
days, save it for later.
Right.
Didn't
No, I
have
mean,
to be today.
at that point, how can you make it about you? That's just not
Yeah,
good.
oh well, we had a little bit of a falling out, so he must have, hurt himself because he had a bit of a problem. No, mate, maybe you've got the problem. Sorry, I
Yeah.
just did a really Australian thing then. Nah, mate. So,
All right.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's so clickbaity, and he does it all the time, and so does Tommy. But Tommy's is I always find Tommy's quite funny most of the time, So, but yeah, but it's just, it's just I don't think I can watch him again after that
Agreed,
because
Marie.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, CK. I didn't say hello earlier. It's just
Yeah.
I was a bit being very emotional.
Yeah,
But
I'm so all over the place. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I just that one threw me. That threw me.
It did.
It threw.
Oop, I just got
I didn't
water
know
up my nose.
I didn't know who he was. I was watching this morning, I was rewatching, and I was painting, and I thought, what's going on? And then I kind of caught part of this, and then I kind of was like catching bits and pieces as I locked myself out of my house, and I had to break into my house. So as I was climbing through the window, I was kind of listening to what was going on, but I didn't know, excuse me, who he was. I'd never watched his channel or anything, so I don't.
I'm just going to say that he always came across to me as somebody who cared about people, a very kind soul, and especially
Yeah, he was
all that he
hilarious.
through, he
He
went
was
through
also
a
very funny. He was
yeah,
also funny.
he was.
Yeah, and he didn't just talk about Scientology. He'd talk about movies and a whole
Yeah,
range of different things. He
yeah.
was hilarious.
He was, and he was interesting.
Yeah, he was interesting. That's why I used to watch him.
Yeah.
Well, I'll still go back and watch the ones I missed, but it's just it's not for a while.
I can't get over this. I mean, I was not expecting it to. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but it's kind of unexpected how it's hitting me, and I don't know why. It's not like
I think it's a bit of.
It's
Well,
not
I
like
cried, and
emotionally, but in a way, you kind of do get to know people because they're telling of a very, very personal experience.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't seem fair. He didn't have why I cried is because he had so much of a life as trapped in a cult, abused, everything. He had so much of his life was wasted, and he had so much life left to live that it just
Yes.
that's what got me. And also, he was vibrant. I found him very vibrant, like Lara and Aaron, and he didn't mute himself at all. He was vibrant. That's how I found him.
Yeah.
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 I don't know how else to explain it. It's just vibrant. So.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a lot to offer the world. And I feel like, the world lost somebody that we needed.
especially the ex-Scientology world. They needed that voice.
Yeah.
Well, then there's so many out there, but his was unique, and so was like Lara's. It's just unique and wild, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll go back and watch some of the funnier ones later, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard to take last night. I was like in literal shock. Apparently I go into shock pretty easy. If my doctor said it's fine, it's because you're like sensitive. And I'm like, that sensitive word again. But yeah. But yeah, it was just, I was just sitting there like, I couldn't type, couldn't write. I was in disbelief. I didn't even want to look it up. And then someone said it was confirmed, and then someone said it was murder. I'm like, they can't even tell it. And I'm just like, I'm just going to wait and see if it's true or not. And then, yeah.
I wonder if they'll release the coroner's report to anybody that will be able to tell us anything.
Well, because he was a ex-Scientologist, I'd say there's going to be some media interest. I don't know over there if it's something that's like over here. It's up to the family to release.
Yeah.
But
That's how it is here. They will release
Yeah.
it to the family, but it's not public record, I don't think. Not
well, in the end, is it our business?
Yeah. Right.
That's how I always thought about it. Like, that's why I was always like, why is it our business to know? Like, I understand why, like Robin Williams, that was incredibly sad.
Oh my God.
But his family released that to let people know that
Yeah.
of Louis disease, which is a form of Parkinson's. Lewis, one of those, but it was a form of Parkinson's, and yeah, and he also did suffer in mental health and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he had Scientology sent him into some seriously dark places.
no, I was talking about Robin Williams as far as the coroner's report. That's why the family released that. So I understand why that happened. And also, yeah, but I don't think it's anyone's business to know, natural causes, fine. That's all they need to say.
Yeah.
I'm not able to see any of the comments. I'm having technical difficulties I still haven't sorted out. So if there's anything
Stasia said, this is hitting harder than I thought too, Carol. The gold speculation is beyond hurtful. The unique voices capture our hearts. I seriously had no clue. Yeah, I didn't either until about 5 or 10 minutes before going on.
go ahead.
Okay, you go. No, you go.
No, I'm just saying it's I can understand how shocking and hurtful it can be to find out somebody that you watch, because Cosmic is right. We do develop these I don't know, like one-sided
Parasocial.
relationships.
Mhm.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
people that we watch, we tune into them, we feel like we know them, and
And he really did share a lot of himself.
yeah.
And I got to know him when he had his other channel before YouTube
Yeah.
did away with it. And and he did not hold anything back. So you do feel like you get to know somebody like that.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, when somebody is being vulnerable and they're sharing things and they're sharing their life experiences, and you make that connection, like it's still a real connection for you. The person, even though he couldn't see us, like we see each other.
Yeah.
But it's still a loss.
Mm-hmm.
It is a loss.
It
And
is.
it's a loss of a human. It's a human life. It's a loss of a soul. It's a loss of someone that you feel connected to. It's someone who was obviously making a difference and bringing joy into the the world. And it's especially in these days, it's hard to lose that kind of vibrancy, when
Seventh,
you,
nobody knows yet.
yeah.
We
And
don't know yet. He was the only thing that we know is that he was found in his Studio City apartment in his bed. And that doesn't mean anything as far as
My
yeah,
ex had a heart attack at 43 or 45. So, like, it happens. And he was healthy as fit. So
he
these
was a
things
heavy
happen.
smoker, there was that. I mean, he was
I was talking about my ex. He was healthy. Had no signs of a heart attack other than possibly,
oh, yeah.
intense stress. So you just imagine what that cult puts the hearts of their members through. No sleep, nothing, not enough food.
That's true. That's so true.
Now, I'm sorry because I don't know. Did he leave the cult recently and then start a
No,
channel?
he's been out a number of years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, his story was particularly tragic. It's a miracle that he survived what he did.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm devastated for his mother.
Getting wrapped up in Scientology sent his brain down some really dark, scary places, dark, scary paths. And he went into that to a pretty great degree, especially on his other channel. It's the loss of a fighter. That's right. I wish I could see all these starlings up in my tree. I didn't even know we had starlings like that around. I love the sound they make.
Yeah. Yeah. Starlings they're beautiful little
The
birds.
rainbows have started.
Yeah.
I have to keep turning it, otherwise one just sits directly in my eye.
Oh,
But
Well, do you guys mind if we continue with Tommy for a little bit more?
not at all.
I'm fine. Yeah.
Jazz, you find that out at OT3. So he had actually been through that and gone that far, and he had been disconnected from family for a long time. If you've never seen any of Doug's videos, his library of work is still up there, and he's a YouTuber. I'm a guy that comes online and talks to people, right? Like he was a legit YouTuber. You know, it's and it's a loss not just for the YouTube community and for the people that really aren't fond of the Church of Scientology, right? It's he has a lot of friends, and if you happen to be another content creator, maybe just wait on speculating if this dude unalived himself until somebody says something that's to back that up. I just think it's bad for him. I'm not picking on anybody that said it, but Dazed, not confused. I should have said that. I'm terribly sorry, but yeah, that was his channel. Dazed, but not confused. It's just a bummer.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a bummer, and it's. I hope that the takeaway from this is that, he had a deep belief in a higher power, and whether you believe in one or not, he did. It was something that was. We spent a decent amount of time talking about that as well, and he was a believer, a no joke, no lie, believer, and. I know that was a part of his life in a big way, and I think that there will be people who take solace in that, right? For a lot of reasons, and there are people who are going to think that that's voodoo too. But he was definitely a believer. This is going to be. Look, I promise you, I don't want to do another one of these. I'm sorry. I don't want to do another one of these about him. I really don't. You know, Amanda, what a beautiful way to put this, huh? Well, then you believe he is in a much better place, right? And that's a beautiful thing for the people that believe that, and for the people that who are friends with him. That's going to bring great peace. And you know something, I have said this so many times on the air. Like I'm sure that people are tired of hearing this, but he was another second gen that just did not have an ounce of judgment in him.
That's true.
Like, again,
That's
when you're
so
a bad
true.
person, you meet people and they know you're a bad person, right? Your reputation goes ahead of you. And I don't mean a bad person like a bad human being, but I mean, like, on paper I don't look so great. You know, I'm not a guy that's at a job interview. If you're just my resume, if I can sit down and talk to you, you might get a different opinion of me. But because of my resume, there are people who judge you before they get to know you, and I've never had that happen to me by a second gen. They are a remarkable group of people that, honest to God, I don't think I've ever met one that I didn't really care about and care for. They're just remarkable people. And I reached out to one that I'm close with today to talk about this, and they said they did not make a saint of him. They listed off about 4 points about Doug that they found grating, things that Doug did that bothered him. And you know what? Honestly, people, we've talked about this before. I don't eulogize people and turn them into saints, right? That's not my down. And I don't know the cat well enough. But I really enjoyed talking to him. He believed very, very strongly in everything that he was doing. And
Yeah.
that to me is admirable, right? I'm not much for doing things that I don't know. I mean, I know. This is difficult to process. It sucks. The number of second gens that are gone.
Yeah.
And that is how my friend ended. They wrote, but with all of those things they said about him, my heart explodes every time a second gen leaves this planet, because they just didn't get a good shot.
That's right.
And this was a second gen saying that. And you know what? That's where my heart is at on this thing.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't get the same shot that other people get.
No, they don't.
You know, when you're raised in a cult that's just, especially, I don't know how this happens, man. I really don't know how we keep putting up with it and allowing it, right?
Right.
I guess that's why we get together, and I guess that's why there's SPTV, and right, so we're certainly not going to be I don't know, people.
I don't
This
know
is just
about
a regular
that. I
day.
mean, I think, okay, well, you know. Nah.
Andrew,
I
I
don't
understand
agree
what
with
you're
that.
saying. I really do. I've even talked about this, right? And I'm not mad at you for theorizing. I'm really not. But the people who I knew that knew him well said he has never been happier. Like, probably times in everyone's life where we've had really, really dark days. And I'm sure, as a guy that made it to OT3 and then left the cult, he had days, right? All second gens have dark days, and they're cut off from everybody they love. What's the opposite of every bad thing on planet Earth, right? Connection. This is a group of people that have a doctrine called disconnection that separates you from all of the people on the planet that you love, unless they also happen to be paying this cult a crap load of money to sit in a chair and hold a couple of cans, right? To measure nothing, really, for all intents and purposes, right? And it says, Doug was one of my favorite SPTV creators. I always found him so genuine.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put up this video before someone else did. I really didn't. I just did not. I'm not a reporter. I don't want to break a story. You know what I mean? I don't. Unless it's something, I'm already really tied up in or whatever. I know that people are going to do much better jobs reporting on this, if that's what you're looking for. I wanted to give an opportunity for some people to come here and let some feelings out, because that's kind of how we connect, right? If you hold stuff inside, you ever meet one psychiatrist or counselor in your life that said, here's what you want to do. Take all that pain and take all of that and just pull it inside, right?
Yeah.
And don't let anybody know about it, and hold on to it so that it's yours and no one else is on planet Earth, right? No therapist has ever said anything even remotely like that.
That's right.
That freaking cult, very similar,
Yep.
right? For real, does something very similar. That cult systematic, everything they do is literally the exact opposite of every single thing that the lifeboat is. And we tried, we didn't even really know about the church at that point when we put this. But literally everything that we and believe, right? If your family is trashed, man, really, you got to try to put it together. You got to try to put it back together because family's huge. And if you can't, right, then build one. Then build your family, right? Because if you haven't, people say you can't choose your family. Of course you can. Of course you can. The shirt came in from my sister, right? You see that? It's even got a Laura F there, people, right? To Tommy. See that? I got my name on that. This is Laura from SPTV. And you know what's sad is we were actually talking about doing something today, but definitely not going to be a day to come on and act silly, which is probably what will happen when Laura and I get together, because we do a lot of laughing. Yep. You know what? I hope that Debbie says he always came across as lonely and in need of hugs.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I understand the
Yes, I
vibe you're
did,
describing.
actually.
But I think the dude was happy. I think he was definitely different. I mean,
Yeah.
he really
He was.
was.
I was going to say that he was very unique.
But weird question.
I was helping my son get ready for work, so I missed a lot of the
Weird question,
comments.
but what happens to his channel? I don't know that that's such a weird question, honestly, because the guy did amazing work, and it's
Yeah.
work that is still benefiting people. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched some of his stuff, but he had a perspective that I sure as hell couldn't have.
Yeah.
And he has a perspective Aaron can't have, right? Like, this is the dude that got to OT3. He really was successful in the church. He went in when he was 9, but like, he rose up there, man. That's not the bottom of the food chain. That's the top of the food chain. That really is. That's when they start to tell you the secrets. EJ, thank you so much. That's very kind. I appreciate it. Yeah, he was doing a Xenu drinking game. Connection is the lifeblood of what we are as humans. 30 years answering distress line calls tells me that every day. When someone connects, there is always an opportunity. That's right. And when people disconnect, bad things happen. And you know what, people? I keep beating this drum, and I know people are getting sick and tired of me talking about it. But this is the holiday season, and it sucks. Reach out to the people that you know. And if they don't answer for you for 2 days, go see them. Go
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah.
Right? For real. And we've been talking about this on this channel since before things. This isn't about what just happened to Doug, and you know what, people, for all we know, Doug passed very peacefully in his sleep, right? And for who knows what, as resilient as the human body is, and it is amazingly resilient, because all of us here have beat on our bodies so bad, right? As drug abusers, the things I did to my body, and yet here I am, right? But it's also so fragile. It does not take much, right? It takes a blood vessel inside the brain letting loose, and that's the end of it, right? It takes the heart seizing, and he was a pretty avid smoker, right? One time I was with him in person. He was smoking like he was getting paid by the cigarette. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. You know something? This is the lifeboat. Here you go. This is it. I didn't know Doug, but may he rest in peace. Right? That's just a beautiful thing. Wow, this chat's flying. James says, sympathy to those who knew him. There is a verse that said, it is better to go to a funeral than to a party. It is good for us to think about how fragile life is, what is really important. And by the way,
I'd rather go to a party.
I'm familiar with that quote, and I get it. I really do. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm not going to run. Excellent. Excellent. Scott says, if anything happens to his channel, he has posted his video on multiple platforms. And you know what, people? If you ever come across a video and you love it, save it, right? Put it somewhere. If there's something, I have a collection of stuff that I have off of, so that I can use it away from computers and other things. Put something on a zip drive. You love something, man. Just get it and put it up. I've come across things that people have done on YouTube, and maybe YouTube is different for me. I don't know. Maybe it's the public speaker thing, but every once in a while I've watched somebody do a show and just thought, damn, man, like that was absolutely incredible. Like that, what that person just did was amazing. And I end up saving them. And I've got some favorite YouTubers that just do some really amazing content. And I go back and watch some of it again. Doug was a gentle, down passion in speaking the truth and speaking out against the BS. He wasn't his love, sadly gone far too soon. Yeah, he was younger than I was. Also born on the same day that my brother was. They share a birthday. Not a year, but a day. They were born on the same day of the year, like me and Tom Cruise.
That's true.
You know what, Colts be Colton? This was my fear, right? This was my fear. And I didn't really have any way of knowing anything. So I thought, I'll just wait until a YouTuber, puts something up. And then I can talk about it. So I waited, and the Underground Bunker did something on this, and then the other Andrew Gold, I think, may have done a video on this as well. I'm pretty sure he did. We do not know what the cause of death is, and as I've said a couple of times on this show already, the people that I know who were very close friends with him said this is the happiest he's ever been. He had a bunch of projects in the works. One of them was me, and this was a happy dude. Now, even we were talking about, I wasn't talking to him. He was talking to a go-between. We had our mutual friend was setting everything up, and I was excited as heck about it. It was there was a bit of a tinfoil. It was more cutting edge, I guess, a little bit. But I was so excited about it. Yeah, it definitely went too soon.
And I know that Scientology as a entity does not encourage people to check in with doctors,
Mm-hmm.
and there might have been, Plant Frank says there is also the choice to keep things private. I'm not saying the Gold speculation is correct. He could have had health issues he never shared publicly. He also could have had health issues he didn't know about. It's not like coming from that culture of Scientology, especially being an OT, that he would have thought it wouldn't have been automatic to go to a doctor, even just for a checkup. Not in that culture.
Especially with heart attacks, they're silent killers, Yeah. And I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying, as far as I've got to stop using that hand for this stupid fly. I've been killing flies all day yesterday, and this one got in when I walked in today. Anyway, but as far as like certain things like heart attacks or strokes or aneurysm, and my sister had an aneurysm. She's 2 years older than me at 40, and she would have died if my niece hadn't found her in the shower. And hers was just a mild headache. She had two, actually. First one was a mild headache. She didn't know. Second one, she had a major one. This is on my 40th birthday. So that's how I know how old she was, because otherwise I'd be like somewhere in her mid-40s. So she was about 43. So it can happen to anyone at any time.
At any time. Yeah.
There's multitudes of reasons why it could have happened that are health reasons. It doesn't have to be a self-choice reason, and that's why the speculation that it's like,
speculation is harmful.
Yeah, that should be the last thing. That's why it's not a. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just want to punch some certain. The thing that we export the most over here. I want to punch him in his smarmy little face. And I'm not violent, so I'm allowed to say it and think it, but I would never do it. But
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's just like it's because I'm sitting there thinking like, how many other people who have been affected? Because he come out same day, or basically, I don't know. For me, it was day after. Speculating, and I was just thinking, how many other people are sitting there and chat who've been through what I've been through, or
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
just depression and all that sort of stuff, just sitting there thinking like, this is really harmful to families. And because basically it broke what my stepdaughter did, changed my daughter forever, broke
Yeah.
my family apart,
Yeah.
broke friendships and all that sort of stuff. And it's not something my stepdad did on purpose, and it's got nothing to do with anything, but it's speculating on it is just harmful.
Yeah.
Harmful. It hurts everybody. It hurts the people in the audience. It hurts families. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it wasn't okay. And I think that's why I had a nightmare night. No, it's not the only reason. It's, I
There
think
could have been
illness
something
helps.
genetic that he wouldn't have known because his parents were Scientologists.
Yeah,
They
because you
wouldn't,
wouldn't have gone to the
wouldn't have
doctor.
known if they were carrying something genetic, more than likely. Some of our family friends actually got suicide awareness tattoos in Chrissy's honor. I was told to keep it quiet.
I think
Wow.
Michael's calling. Yeah, but we'll see. I didn't keep it quiet because as the person, well, me and my mum actually, my birth mother, we were on the scene, but I didn't keep it quiet, and I don't. I'm all for Suicide Awareness Month and making sure people check in, and actually that's one of the things I'm having a bit of issue at the moment is because I'm sick. No one's really checking in on me. I have my group here,
Yeah.
but my actual friends aren't actually checking in on me. No, my in person, real life friends.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are my actual friends, but you know what I mean. They're not checking in on
No.
me, and
I know what you mean.
yeah, on the 19th will be the year. Look, I'm not making this meeting about me again,
It's
but
okay.
on the 19th will be the 1 year. I don't want to say anniversary. It will be 1 year since my son and I were attacked. That the incident that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's just like, that's probably another reason I had nightmares, because I realized it yesterday, because I compartmentalize things, and I
Yeah.
do things by dates, and so I try my best to try and leave it till that day to freak out. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like no one's checking in on me.
Oh. I'm sorry.
And people should know by now how hard it is for me to reach out for help, because I've been so independent, and right now I can barely do anything. Like moving my hand like this hurts. I can't do anything. I can't wash my hair. Can't clean the house.
Ouch.
Um,
Do you know what the scan has said yet?
no, I haven't been able to go to a scan because I'm so loopy. Because of the flu, I've got this brain fog. I can drive 20 minutes to work. Like I drove Jaden 20 minutes to work and then 20 minutes back. That's about as far as I can go. And even then, it's a bit dodgy if I get up, because I stand up and I'm all like, ooh. Have you ever seen The Simpsons and like Mr. Burns' alien? That's how I feel like I'm walking through the world at the moment. But yeah, yeah, it's just like, but it's really important to check in on your friends. I know that I won't do anything because my self-protecting factor for that is,
Even if you're not in danger of doing anything, we're all in these bodies, and and we're all vulnerable to
Yeah.
almost anything that you can think
And
of.
right now, and the thing is, I just think it's coming up to Christmas. Everybody's busy. And I'm just, because normally I go over there because, I don't know, when people come to my house, they tend to stay too long and I start to get uncomfortable. I just want to, okay.
Oh,
Me just go, you can leave now.
Misha.
Oh,
Oh, you have to wonder how you survive,
Misha,
but
I'm so
you
sorry.
don't get a choice. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Misha. It's just like, and sometimes, like, especially like after my stepdad, you feel like, I'm not sure if you feel like this, Misha, but you feel like I feel like my grief is too overwhelming for other people, so they stop checking in. They don't want to hear it, like, because I'm brutally honest about everything, most of the time. Like, I hid what I was going through for 3 years, but about everything else, I'm brutally honest. Like, if someone asks me, are you okay? Unless they're a stranger, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no, and I'll tell them what I'm going through, because what's the point of asking if they don't want to hear the truth? And I think that might be my thing. But like, yeah, but I just found that day after day, like, it stopped. The check-ins stopped coming in because they stopped wanting to hear about it. They just wanted to move on with their lives. And
Sorry.
I actually got told to get over it. I'm like, how do you get over something like this?
You don't. You don't. I mean, and what a callous thing to say to somebody.
Yeah,
They've
Michelle.
never been through
Exactly.
anything remotely like that, or they would be able to check in on you,
Yeah, and it's just like, and it's just like, exactly, Misha. It's just, and that's why I cry in the shower. No one wants to hear me cry. No one wants to see me cry. People literally in my, like, I'm so glad my housemate's moved out. But anyway, I'm so glad that he's moved out, because now I can sit and cry in my lounge, and no one's going to be like, "What are you crying for?" And then I start talking about it, and he walks off, and it's just like, and he'll sit there like getting all upset about his child and whatever he's getting upset about on the day. I sit there and I listen, and I actually found out why I'm being so emotional. It's because I've got like PSMD or something, which is something that's quite common in autism and ADHD. It's so that hit last night, so that was great. But yeah.
Oh, even though they've never endured, that doesn't mean that they have a right to tell somebody when to move on. You're insisting that I move on now if it's someone talking to me, and you've never even been through anything remotely like this.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I said it to my mother when I was very young, and I didn't understand. I'd never really lost anyone, and I didn't get why she was carrying on like a pork chop every time, and she was drinking this. She was constantly aggressively drunk, and I've never seen her like that before. Like, well, I barely knew her because she only just really came into my life on a regular basis. But yeah, and I just said, can you just get over it? Because you're ruining my life being here. Like, she was living with me at the time, and and it was only once I lost that I knew.
Yeah.
So, and I apologize. Like, I've apologized so much. She said, can you stop? Yeah. Thank you. I'm all right. I move forward. I never say I get over it. I just move forward. Because what else can you do? But yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
one day I will be able to tell my story, but not one particular part I cannot. No, it's just I don't want to get too far into. It's a version of PMS that's quite extreme. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just everyone's got something going on, and the thing with Doug's passing hit me hard because it was like, you learn it on a live stream. Yeah, and and the speculation is what got me the most, especially some of the things people were saying. It's just like, we're supposed to be a community of loving people, and there was one particular troll in there last night that I think the moderators got out of there pretty quick. But I'm a speed reader, so I read it. I was just like, how can you say that? I can't remember what it was, but because it was like, just people just be nice. It's so easy to be nice. It's so like
It's not. It does, and it doesn't cost you anything, except maybe a little bit of ego, a little bit of pride. Maybe.
Well, I'm known. I don't know. I don't even think it's ego. Like if you're doing it for no recompense, if you're not expecting.
I thought you meant people not taking the time to be kind. I thought that's what you were saying. I apologize.
Oh, no. I just mean it's easier to be kind than it is to be nasty because you have to think up something to be nasty. For some people, I don't know. I guess some people just have nasty in their head. But for me, it's naturally nice. Like, but because I'm known as
choice.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's natural. I've always been there. Although when I'm kind until someone touches my shit because then they move it and then I can't find it. So, I'll share anything as long as they put it back in the same spot. But yeah. But yeah, there's just some people it just comes naturally to. And I think that's a lot of the people in this group. I think that's true of, because we wouldn't be so kind and open and supportive if we weren't naturally nice.
Yeah.
So, and thank you everyone in the comments. I still can't type. I'm hoping my carer can come out today and possibly we can go find a hospital that it's not going to take ages to get it checked out. Well, I need to go get a scan first. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping it comes good. I wake up every morning and I step outside. No, sorry, I always do that. But yeah, I wake up every morning and I'm just like, hoping it's better. And then I do some things and it starts burning down here. And I think I've definitely broken my plum right here. There's a bit of a lump.
Oh.
So, I don't even know what they can do about it.
Oh.
So, because I've only broken this finger before. I've broken a few ribs. Well, I've had a few ribs broken. And that was like when I was a kid. My mum just strapped it and I got out of homework for ages and that was great because I bruised really weird. So I just pretended that it was still broken, but it was just really, really bruised and I could move it.
Yeah.
I'm a scammer. Well, I was at school anyway. I used to sit at the back of the bus and write school notes for kids because I had really neat handwriting and I could pretend to just harmless. Just that they didn't do their homework that day because they went out they went out for dinner or something last night. Yeah, but in all regards, I think me having my little emotional thing helped me deal with my flatmate stuff because he was pretty nasty to me as he was walking out the door for the last time. And I said, dude, you're a mini minor and I'm a Mack truck. You're going to bully me. I'll come back at you. And I ran over him. So nicely and calmly, like I wasn't like yelling and everything was true. So, I didn't bully him. I just came back at him with a few facts. And basically I said, don't dish out what you can't eat.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, normally I just take it, because all in
Yeah.
good humor, good fun.
With him, that was just eating poop that you didn't need to be eating. So just spit it right back out.
Yeah, well, he's seen me around my friends, and we all give each other a bit of a good ribbon, but they're my friends, like.
That's right.
And he's not that level of friendship,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I had a really shit sleep, but I feel stronger because
Good.
I've had peace for
Yeah.
days, and it's been
Makes a
great.
difference. Yeah, he was causing some pretty frayed nerves.
I'm pretty sure he calls me my psoriasis because it only comes up when I'm really, really stressed. And I've had flu and stuff before, and he was causing me immense amount of stress. So he wasn't contributing to the household anyway. So there's no difference.
Yeah.
Other than, there's no extra mess right now. So yeah. So
Well, I wanted to say, Cosmic, you look you always look beautiful, but you look very nice today. I like your necklace and your dress, and
thank
you
you.
look
This
very
never comes
pretty.
off. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I woke up like this, literally, because I fell asleep like this, and I was just like, I don't have time because we were late to work. Whole thing. But my son, I'm so proud of my son. He's still sick with flu, but he didn't want to miss work today. He just said he's going to wear a mask, and he's so silly. He was going to wear a mask that's full of concrete. I'm like, you can't wear that. Concrete dust. I'm like, you can't wear that.
Oh,
So
gonna help
yeah,
you.
so he stocked himself up with the what do you call them? Those sports drinks. Blech. I think they taste like salt. And he tried to get some yogurt because he's not been eating either because he can't. So we both yesterday we both went to the shops and he was throwing up in one toilet and I was throwing up in the other.
Oh,
It's
no.
just phlegm,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Sorry, TMI, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, but still.
Misha,
Hi,
Hi guys.
oh, stop it.
I got
how are
a
you
different
doing?
picture on today. That's me as a Harley. Harley Quinn.
Ah,
Oh
That's my face.
Okay. Yeah. I like it.
So I don't know very much about the Scientology world. I've just kind of started dipping my feet into it.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear of anybody in the community being lost, though, it's tough. I kind of didn't want to come on because of that, because I understand how that is, and I don't want to interfere with all that.
It's okay. I mean, this is us,
Yesterday,
it just hit me really hard. I found it right before I was going on, like 5 or 10 minutes before I was going on. And I don't know why. It's not like I knew him personally.
Well, here's the thing, though. I have only known you guys for, it'll be a year is the maximum that I've known anybody from the vote. It's kind of a bittersweet anniversary kind of thing there. But some of you I've only known for a few weeks, a few months, and I already have so much of an attachment to you guys. You guys are my family. And so I can understand where that would get anybody.
We've built our family.
Yeah. I mean, I'm adopted, so I've never had, besides my girls, the only blood I've ever had in my life has been my girls. And so I've only had chosen family.
Yeah.
And so I have a different outtake on a lot of it. On that aspect. But grief, you never know what's going to hit you. It's going to be something so totally random, and your day's going to be going so perfect, and then something will, out of the blue, not have anything to do with it, and it's going to catch you off guard. Different scents are going to catch us off guard. You just never know. But thankfully, we have the tools in place now, or we're learning to have the tools in place to be able to at least handle them a little bit differently and a little bit hopefully better.
They're just emotions. They feel like they're going to kill us, but they don't.
Oh yeah, they feel like it. And we think, I'm going to beat these things. I'm not going to be like that today. I'm going to be all productive and successful, and I'm going to have action. And then you get up that day, and then you sit down in your chair, and then you just blah, blah. Or at least that's me lately.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
going to go back to my couch fort after this. So
Well, I
my
was going to
lounge
say,
fort.
Chrissy, you were talking about not being able to do your hair because of your hand. Y'all, I didn't brush my hair for like 2 months.
Well, yeah, I believe it.
It was just horrible, horrible. Even admitting, because I'm like, how in the Bible he had the long hair,
Yeah.
Samson, and he had the long hair, and it was his strength. I've kind of always felt that way with me because I had the long. I was kind of vain about my daggone hair.
Yeah.
It took me so long to get that brushed out. It was disgusting, and I was so mad at myself. And I'm like, this is wrong, Misha. You got to get the heck out of this. This is awful.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to force yourself. Mom was 95. She had a good long run, and I had a good long run with her, But after she died, I didn't shower for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we don't take the time to care for ourselves. And my daughter, my oldest one, is really going through that right now. And I'm like, honey, come on, seriously, because you see this. Learn from my example for one time in your life. Would you learn from my example? And so I'm trying to work with her into the things that I'm learning. I'm trying to share with her, and she's getting a lot. She's a smart cookie, so she's getting a lot of it. But it's just we have to do the best we can, and that's one of the things that the reason why I wanted to come on today. Yesterday, I really, really, really needed a meeting. Yesterday was tough. But I'm putting that aside, and I'm putting aside a lot of the other stuff because I'm trying to be more action motivated. I'm trying to be, I have a lot of friends, and I'm so thankful for that, but I'm not being a friend back to them. Even on the chats these days, I'm not able to interact like I want to. My sight is really causing me issues. Like I can see the chat if I focus. It's terrible. It's the see in the chat, I can see it, but it's like triple, like somebody took a stamper and they're just tripling it. And so I have these glasses that are not the right prescription, and I put them on and I strain, and it gives me major migraines. And so I will answer and talk in the chat, and it looks like I'm being very hypocritical, like I'm just saying, hello, I'm just picking out. Well, that's not it. It's just it's hard. And so I have that guilt because I want to be there for everybody and I can't. And I have people that have messaged me just checking in on me, or I have people that I'm supposed to be doing stuff for, and I can't do it for anybody. And I'm being a crappy friend, and I don't like that.
Well,
so
you've been a good friend to a lot of people. I can tell that that's the kind of person that you are. So you've got some, you've built up some credit. I'm going to say I'm going to venture out in that unknown territory and guess territory that you've built up some credit, Misha.
Yeah,
I think
I don't want to go on that. I want to go on the being able to, I don't want to live off the past. I want to be able to live and to do and to fulfill what I say that I am and what I want to be. And that's so very important to me. And I'm not able to do it right now. And that sucks so hard. And so I'm trying to come up with some solutions. I think that I've been mulling over a voicemail for a while. I've been going on over a lot of stuff. I don't have action in my life right now. I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas, but just not the follow through. And I think that's possibly because the ADHD is getting worse, if that's possible. I've never, I don't know. I'm new to the neurodivergence life. But whatever is going on in my head, everything is multiplying exponentially. And it's just hard to keep my mind focused. And it's hard to keep myself, and it's just blah. So
some of that trauma, Misha.
Yeah, there's a lot of trauma. There really, really is. But that doesn't need to define me either.
No, it doesn't. But at the same time, we are what we are at any given moment, and we can't be anything different.
You're
And
doing
to
the
try
best you
it.
can with
Girl,
everything you
don't tell me
got.
that. That's not what I want to hear.
I know, but I mean, you're being so hard on yourself, and there's no need. You know,
You're doing
you
the
can
best
only
you can. Like, you're just like I am. I'm doing the best I can. And if the best I can is to get up, take my son to work, and then go sleep on the couch until he calls me, as long as I'm staying hydrated and apparently sleep is healing. I don't know. I just find it a waste of life right now. But,
Oh,
you're just doing the
thought
best you can. I just find it, well, my dreams were so bad last night, I don't want to fall asleep again. So,
I hate to hear that. You said that earlier, and it broke my heart.
yeah.
As far as dreams, you want to know what my worst nightmares have always been? Minus, there was like a month's time where I had a recurring nightmare, and putting a Bible underneath my pillow. Believe it or not, that's what fixed it. I never have had that dream again. It was a very, very horrible, horrible dream. The same one over and over. But my nightmares have always been finding light switches and not being able to make them work, or finding clean restrooms. There is so many dirty bathrooms all over the place in my dream, and I just go on these journeys trying to find a clean one. I don't know. I'm a weird cookie from a different kind of box.
well, my dream my recurring dream that keeps waking me up last night, because I think it's because it's so close to the 1 year mark, and it's
Yeah.
always my son that gets attacked. It was me that was attacking him over and over and over in multiple different ways, and it was me having a meltdown, ended up attacking my son, and just constant. And even just thinking about it now, it's just horrifying. Like, and because I've learned to wake myself up as soon as I start to like feel terror in my dreams, and so I just kept constantly waking up, and then I'd fall back asleep and go back into a different version of the dream with a different outcome, like same outcome but different. It was just all night, and I've never had that dream like that before. Never have I hurt my children in my dreams before. Like, it's always me protecting my children. So for it to flip like that in one night, it was just like, geez.
Speaking of your son, I was wondering, do you think there's a possibility that your roommate's toxicity kind of contributed to the way your son was doing for a little bit for that time?
No, I also, Jaden, sorry, I'm not meant to mention. His he's got a lot of trauma himself, so I don't think so, because he's hung out with people before who are pretty rough, and because he was doing it before, and it was just
Okay.
it's just Jared kind of egged him on, like they and yeah, he didn't. And as soon as me and Jaden had to deal, as soon as we say stop to each other, we stop. Because Jaden doesn't know. Did it again. He doesn't know when to stop sometimes, and and sometimes, because he gets pretty annoying. Kids, man, even though he's 23, kids. And he's got a better humor than me. Like, sometimes he's so quick. It's not better. It's just sometimes he's quick and he's very dry, like, and in deadpan. Like, I try and tell a joke, I laugh all the way through it. He can just do it deadpan,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, sucks that I taught you to be so funny. But anyway, he's so sick at the moment. Like, he actually called me mummy last night. I was like, oh.
Oh.
He wanted a hug from his mummy.
Oh.
He's
That's very
no, he gets very cuddly. He's always very cuddly, but when I'm sick, I'm like, no, touchy, go away. But I'm just like, oh, he's hugging me, and like, I know he's my son. I want the hug, but my body's like, leave me alone. So I was just like, yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, no, he's a sweetheart.
I'm the
It's
same way
called,
when
it's one of those human things. We've all got them.
yes. Well, I'm the same way when I'm sick. I'm like, don't touch me. Don't look in my direction. What I wanted to say though was Misha and to Cosmic. I think you guys are both. Can you hear me okay? With my
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's fine.
it was kind of doing the buffering thing. You know, just your presence in a chat or on a live stream
Yeah.
is really reassuring. And
Yeah. Yes.
I think you guys both offer so much
Yeah.
positivity to everybody.
Mhm.
Like you guys have both shown me personally so much love. I've seen you show everybody else on this channel and in the boat so much love. And I think if you're taking some time for yourself, um, just allowing other people to show you the love,
Yeah.
and please don't feel like you guys always have to be on because it gives
Yeah.
us a chance to give you back the love that you give us. Because
Yeah.
when you're always giving love and giving love and giving love,
Yes, you
it's
are.
it's amazing and it's amazing to
Yeah.
be on the receiving end. But sometimes when you're so busy giving, you can't just stop and receive because you're busy giving. And so maybe don't be so hard on yourself that you're not commenting or doing the things that you would normally do because
Or, reaching out to friends that you feel like
yeah,
you've yeah.
yeah.
I
I
just
mean, I'm
hate
terrible.
the left
I
message. I hate to not be like I see it. I'll pull up Facebook, and I've stopped
yeah,
even going on Facebook because I have so many people that I have just like. There's so many that I've not responded to, and I feel so terrible about it. And I just, I think a lot of it, because what you're saying is so true.
Mhm.
With me and mine, it's always been, I've always felt like I didn't, like I had to apologize for breathing, kind of thing. And so that's my way of not letting other people have to ever feel like that. And so
Yeah.
not being able to do that, it just makes it so I feel so less than and so like a hypocrite to what I'm saying I want them to be.
You're
well,
not
and
though.
Those
You're
who
not though. I mean, my God, how do you go through something like you've been going through? And
Like getting out of it. That's
yeah.
something else too. That's the biggest thing I think with me is if I'm gonna
Yeah.
go through this, it needs to go through it because it's for a reason.
Yeah.
And if she had to go through what she had to go through, it needs to be for a reason.
mhm,
And so I have to be loud and I have to scream and I have to tell it. And in telling it I have to be positive and I have to stay out of this rut that I get in so much.
Mm,
And it just
yeah.
feels
well,
like it's pulling me down and I don't want to get out of it.
well, I want to challenge you to try to see it as just you showing up is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a
It
lot.
is. It
And
is.
you know, um I'm really bad at getting back to people. And um, I think maybe, maybe giving yourself permission to not get back to somebody, to just allow yourself to feel that love. Um, and maybe that's something to like journal about or think on. And you don't always have to be positive. Like you really don't. I mean, it's okay to let those emotions inside of you drive you. I mean, you're not coming from a bitter place, right? You
That's
are
right.
not over here like saying all of these like horrible things that honestly, if anybody could say something horrible about another human being, you would be one of those people
Yeah.
who could say something
Yeah.
horrible. I
Yeah.
mean,
I'd
Well,
put
there
that's
you
are
on
why I will be
the
glad that somebody will be at the court too with me because I don't know how positive I will be whenever I'm face to face with him. I don't want to go and be back in behind bars. I don't want to have to go through that. And I
right.
Yeah.
don't want to do that for so many reasons, but I don't know how I'm
Yeah.
going to be whenever I see him face to face. I really,
So,
really don't.
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure the bailiffs will stop you from doing anything stupid, and they will understand that they
Yeah,
Yeah.
might need to.
yeah,
well,
But
and I think that allowing your, you know, like you were saying, grief is, I don't believe anything is linear. I believe it's all circular or up and down, it flows. And, maybe what you're doing right now, maybe what you're feeling right now it's just processing all of that stuff because February 7th is coming up, and maybe this is just, I know that you're a believer. Maybe this is God's way of saying to you, look, come under my wing and let me help you process this right now by giving you communities where people can be there for you so that you can kind of get through it before you get there, you know. And
Yeah, he has. He's given so much community and so much fellowship,
yeah,
and I've just kind of inwardly gotten away from that in the real world. And he's like, you
Yeah.
can't do that, so I'm going to give you family virtually. I'm going to give you community. And he has given me a lot of people beforehand, even to help me for this. He's prepared me for this, and I need thank you for that, because I need to remember that, and I need to hold on to
and it's like that. My grandparents used to have that footprints in the sand poem.
that. Yeah,
I don't know if
uh-huh.
you know what I'm talking about, but
I have one of
where it's like,
that.
yeah, when it was one foot, when it was one set, and the person's like, why did you forsake me? And he's like, no, I
I told
carried
him
you, you know. And so I think that you know nothing. Well, I want to say this in a kind way. I believe that there are reasons that things happen, and there are reasons that we feel the way that we feel, and it's always part of a bigger plan. And like I said, I just wanted to say, you and Cosmic both, you guys are so beautiful and you're so inspirational, and um don't feel like you always have to be on, because
Yeah. I was going to
we
say
we
that,
understand.
as much kindness as you bring to
Yeah.
us, extend some of that to yourself, because,
This is part of my recovery, so I kind of have to. If I don't show up every day, I feel like my day is, I might slip back
Yeah,
to where I started. So
yeah,
I'm not always going to be on screen, but I
that's
try
right.
and always be watch.
yeah.
But yeah,
I have
but
this
And
this
routine.
is
I try to be here, and then I try to do my picture. Um, and the biggest, it's just like right now, what I've told myself I want to do is I want to do the action part of it. I want to do that, and so I want to. Again, I want to come back to the reason I was wanting, because I wasn't wanting to come on here and like this. Blah. I appreciate it. um, but I wanted to show part of what my frustrations were. And I
Yeah.
think that other people, obviously, Christy, I know, is dealing with it. I think a lot of us are dealing with this. And I think if we all were to take our strengths and our weaknesses, which are also strengths, if we're
Yeah.
to take them and put them and bring them together, instead of me dealing with this by myself, like I'm dealing
That's
with it with you guys, but also I'm inwardly, individually dealing with it. There's things that
Yeah.
I can do to help people, and there's things that other people can do to help me. And if we were to
Yeah.
come together in that aspect, I
Yeah.
think that we've got a heck of an army, And so I want to start doing. I've been thinking, like I said about the voicemail, that's going to be where people can if they. Sometimes when we talk to people, we just need to talk, and we don't need to. I'm bad about interrupting somebody when they're calling to me and asking for help. I'm like, well, here, let's do this or let's do that. And sometimes we just need to be heard. And so if we have a voicemail where we can call in and we can be like, I'm not here right now, but I'll listen, and I'm going to be here for you. Tell me what you need to tell me,
That's a good idea.
and then
actually
anonymizing it if you want, because I want to put it like we can put it on YouTube if we want, if that's what they want, because sometimes you want the universe to hear it, but you don't know how to
Yeah.
tell it.
that's an excellent idea, because the other
It
night
is.
I was so upset. And my mum has this thing of turning everything into about herself. Although as I said, she's getting better. But it was really late, and I was really upset, and I knew I could reach out to anyone in this group. But this was just about me needing my mum and just
Yeah.
wanting a hug from my mum. So I sent her a voicemail message, and I said, please don't respond. It's too late, but I need you to hear this, because you always interrupt. So I just need to get it all out. And so I just sent her one of those voice messages thingies on
Yeah.
With
Facebook and just
Yeah.
told her how much I miss her, and that I know she can't do anything for me right now. It's just that I miss her, and it's made me miss my stepmom, who I don't actually really miss because there's a whole thing about that. And you know, it's just I just everything just, and I got it all out in one go because she never lets me get a sentence out. But that's such an awesome idea, Misha, because I just wanted to be heard for once by someone close to
Yeah.
me who lets me get a sentence out. Because generally, it takes me 15 seconds to process things, and so I'll start talking,
Right.
and then I'll try and think of the next thing I want to say, and they'll think that I've stopped,
The whole
and
topic's
then they'll
changed.
start talking, and then I've lost what I've got to say, and so I felt like I've never really been heard, and now I'm silenced. I'm actually literally legally silent. So I
And
reckon
that's
that's an
hard.
excellent. Yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon that's an excellent
Yeah.
idea, Misha. I reckon that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Thank
don't think
you.
I've heard of a better idea in my life. To be honest, I'll
Oh,
tell you.
now.
I think that's
Well,
No,
I mean,
I'm not even joking. There's so many people out there who don't have a voice, who aren't heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what the documentary for Christina that they're doing. It's called Our Voices Cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're speaking for the people that their voices are not able to be heard. You know, the homeless, the people that are being abused, the people that are, you know, they just don't have any way to, even though, because Christina and I both screamed, we still weren't being heard, you know, and so I just had to throw that little side thing in there. But, you know, some of us we don't have our moms anymore, and, you know, we don't have loved ones, or we can't because we're fighting with them, or for whatever reason we can't talk to them. If we do this, then we can call in, and then people can maybe hear a message that they'll never be able to hear from that person, but maybe they can in their mind be like, wow, that was what I needed to hear. And
Yeah.
so, but I would need people to do it with me. I would need people, because I want to listen to every single one of them, but if it ever comes to a point where it's too much, because there's the vicarious trauma, which is what we all are experiencing right now, because we're listening to so many people's stories, and we all have
Yeah.
such big hearts, and we, like the 911 operators, firefighters, police officers, they all experience it too.
Yeah.
We get that trauma that's not necessarily ours, but we still hold it on to us. And
Yeah.
so it's going to be tough listening to those voicemails sometimes, but I'm not ever going to want them to not be listened to. And so I can do them I can anonymize them if they say on the voicemail that they want to be anonymous. So I can anonymize the voices, and I can just do like some infinite zoom backgrounds for the video, but I would need people to listen to them with me, where it's not just me listening. And so if we could come together, if I could maybe recruit a little bit and get some volunteers, and that would be something to be positive in action, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready, but at one point in time, I might be.
And that's
Because
that's the beautiful thing about it, because you don't have to, but if you can, if you want to, because there's so many of us out there, addicts especially, we need something to keep us busy.
Yeah.
A lot of it, you know, we need something that is positive, that is, you know, going to give us a purpose. And with the boat, there's so much that we can do, but there's also so much that we can't, because, you know,
Yeah.
there's just so much that can be done. And if we come together, and I can't volunteer, I can't donate money, obviously. And I have maybe with my DID, I have maybe 3 hours a day now that I've realized that I can remember and recognize during the day. The rest of it is
Okay.
gone. And so I can't donate my time, but I have lots of ideas and I have resources. And I just need to get organized with them. And so if I can get somebody that will help with their software, what they know to use, then we can do that. Just all of us have something that we can donate. It doesn't have to be the money or the time, you know. And if we can come together and say, I'm good at this, then, you know, we just need to come together. And
well,
I
I have
say
plenty of
that,
time. It's just this month is, as you know, Misha, probably more so than I, is difficult. Yeah. So, but when you're ready for it, give me a shout out, because I got so much time on my hands and I am so bored. Like, I'm
well,
watching cooking show after cooking show,
Well, here's a
and I don't
thought.
even eat.
Here's an inexpensive way to get it started. I love, and as most of you know, I love me a good Facebook Messenger clip. You can go for like 20, 30 minutes on those things. I know people have gotten 25-minute Messenger clips from me, not a lie. So that could be a way to get it started
That's what I was
inexpensively.
thinking.
You
Yeah,
don't need any money to start anything. You could just start the Facebook group. You
yeah.
could
And it's just
you
for that. It's just for those clips.
I actually have
yeah,
a voicemail number already as well,
you
and
Oh,
so I have that set in place. I
yeah.
think a
okay.
lot of mine is just the fear of doing. Like I have probably at least 300 videos that I've got 75% done out of 7 years from now, like 7 years back. I just don't. The final part, I have an issue with it, and it's ridiculous. Once I get started, I'm okay, and I can start Facebook groups, but I just don't have the follow through at the, that part. So I need like the support that way.
Right on.
I think
That's
I
maybe
am
awesome.
thinking
you
this
need to
could help a little bit with
focus on
that.
yourself a little bit first.
Do what?
Maybe you should just focus on yourself a little first.
I can't. I focus on myself too much.
Oh,
I need
really?
something that's going to get me out of my freaking funk.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. See,
Stassi,
I get I
Stassi,
I get told the opposite. I
Stassi,
do self neglect.
Well, I mean, I
Sorry.
do
Stassi,
too, but I don't. I'm sorry, Carol.
it's okay. I was just going to say that Stasia says she can help a little with that.
I would love it. I really, really would. And you're one of the people that I've not messaged back, and I'm so sorry. You're on my heart, and I promise you, it's not that I'm ignoring. Oh, I love you so much.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And say hello to Wee Man for me from Minecraft Lady. But yeah, it's just yeah. I've always uh what's the word? What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, no. Focusing more on myself than others. I've always focused more on others than myself because when I think about myself, considering all the things since probably birth that I've been through, um, I can't think about myself because then I start thinking about everything that's happened. So I'll be like, no, I'll just start thinking about something else, or I'll put a cooking show on, or some comedy,
Yeah.
or something.
Well,
So
that's
I
a
just
lot of it.
don't think about myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a lot of it. I am really bad at this self care and this self realization. Well, not okay. No, not self realization. I'm very good at self realizations, but um, I'm good at self punishment as well, but not self love like needs to be.
Mm.
But um, I need the mask that I wore for so long was so heavy and it finally broke. And I try to put on different masks, but I've got like that imposter syndrome to the extreme. And
Oh,
Oh God, same.
yeah, and so it's the trying to put on different masks and trying to find the one that's actually me is something else.
Well,
But one thing that I do know about me is I want to help people and I want to see action. And that's what I promised myself. My New Year's resolution is going to be like Tanya said, to take something on. And it's something that I have lost, and that is action. And so I can't do it on my own. So I'm reaching out, and that's
okay.
actually, I'm applauding myself. Yes, Michelle, good job, because I am asking for specific help. Um,
I
Well,
think
and
also just
everybody has a little bit of that imposter syndrome going on.
nowadays,
yeah.
especially,
We all feel like that, at various times, and certain things will make it stand out to us more than others.
Yeah, I've literally been not diagnosed with it because I refused to believe that I was a ADHD and autistic because I'm like, how can I be when like everybody else had to tell me, and then when my psychologist told me, I'm like, no. And she's like,
well, nobody
well,
fits every single box for autistic spectrum or ADHD. That's the thing about the neurodivergent world is we are all so different. How can we expect to be the same in every single way with any of our,
Yeah,
issues?
yeah,
And
well, the
so
thing is,
I've
like,
tried it. I'm like, no, I'm not. But then I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. That explains my entire flipping life. You know?
I just thought I
And
was
I'm like,
bipolar.
well, I mean, it depends
So,
on the counselor too. It depends on the psychiatrist. It depends on the person that you're speaking with that's diagnosing you. If
yeah,
I were to
well,
take a label and wear that out every day, if I were to say, hi, my name is Misha and I'm an alcoholic and I am an ADHDer, I am autistic, I have fibromyalgia, you know, if I were to go through the long laundry list of all the things that I've been diagnosed with, then that would label me as who I was as well. But that's not what I'm comfortable with either. I am none of those. I am all of those. I am Misha. And I just need to grab
yeah.
a hold of who Misha is again. And I need to pull her butt up out of the damn gunk that she's fallen herself in and actually start doing what she believes in again. Because otherwise, I'm just going to be stuck in it. I'm tired of being the stick and blob. I'm sick of being this blob. I'm not doing any good as a blob on a chair. And so I've got to start looking at the things that I can't change. A lot of the things that's happened. I can't change a lot of the things that will happen, but I can change what I do with them.
Okay. Yeah.
And I
All
need y'all's
right.
help.
Okay. I'm here for
Get
it.
your mess.
Misha, if there's any way I can help, reach out to me. I will help you as much as I can. You know, life gets a little crazy for me sometimes, especially when Michael's traveling, like
Mhm.
he is right now, waiting to, like get to the next place and everything like that. But if there's anything I can do, please let me know. I'm here for it. I'll help you.
I thank you.
So,
I thank all of y'all, and I know that this is the right place to come. And I mean, none of us will be able, and I think we'll be able to understand and appreciate that about each other, as we all have our lives too. None of us are going to be, the first thing I tell people whenever they talk to me, they're like, "Would you be part of my five?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. I love you. I love the concept, but I am not reliable enough to be in anybody's five right now. I can't even be there for me. I don't want to be. I
Hi,
don't want to have the
superhero.
responsibility." Hi,
okay.
handsome.
Oh,
That's our superhero.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just sort of.
Are we superheroes?
I'm gonna jump off the live stream. No, back up.
Okay, you get to
okay.
film
Okay,
better.
right, jump back up.
Okay.
We love you.
I love
Love
you. Bye.
That's
Cosmic.
fine. It was Cosmic who's gonna go. Mine's not fun. Yep. Sorry, he heard the pretty ladies and then he needed to get out of the shower and say hi. And I thought
Hi.
that this might be a good day to really get a good hi.
Yes.
Bye, wee man.
It's so
Good
good
to
to
see
see
you.
you. I'm so proud of how you are taking care of your mama. You're doing such a good job.
I'll see you next time.
So glad to
Okay.
see you.
He had a very early morning, so he's pretty tired today.
Yeah.
Too small. Too small. It's okay. Get the other ones right there. Okay, that's fine too.
Yeah.
He makes me smile.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a superpower.
I think you needed it. I made
Yeah.
sure that I just everything that we've covered today, I think we all just kind of needed a little smile.
Yeah.
But I also
Smile
wanted to
through
say
it.
to you, Misa, in voice, I want you to know I'm very aware that you have a lot going on, and I do not take it personally at all. And I know
Your
that you will
message
get
was
back to
beautiful.
me when you can. And
Yeah.
I honestly, you being in the chat helps me so much, because some days there I'm just like, oh my God, what she said makes so much sense to me right now. So I want you to understand that I still feel the love, no matter if you feel like you're being a bad friend. I don't feel like you.
Yes. 100%, Misha. Yes. Same here.
I don't think there's such a thing as a bad friend.
No.
I mean, I think if somebody turns into a bad friend, they stop being your friend. I think there are
Yeah.
friends that are going through it. I think there are friends that just kind of, like I'm one of those friends. I mean, I have friends that I've had for 40 years and I don't talk to them all the time. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, but we pick right up where we left off.
That's
So
and that's nice to
I
have.
don't think there's such a thing as a bad friend. I really don't.
Oh,
Because, if you're
by
friends, you're
definition.
friends,
By definition. But I also
right.
think you might be a little bit too hard on yourself sometimes, Misha. But
Yeah.
understanding your story more and more since I've gotten to meet you,
Yeah.
I don't blame you for being hard on yourself either, but I really hope that you know that I hope you can be a little bit easier on yourself, because I want you to feel some of that love that you give other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
very
Well,
welcome. Sorry, I jumped in because I wanted to make sure Wee Man was seen. I didn't mean to like interrupt stuff.
Oh,
No,
you
you're
didn't
beautiful.
interrupt
Thank
anything.
you.
Okay.
We're just talking. We're just talking, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Today I've been in and out because my friend's been cutting out, and then Michael called, and I was late getting on.
Yeah.
But that's the
We're
beauty
just
of
gonna
it.
have to.
I'm not the
Sorry,
only
Lisa.
sporadic one right now.
No. I'm that way too right now with all of my own things. There's like certain people that I like know in real life, and I'm just like, sorry, you're kind of on the wayside right now because tribe matters more.
Right.
So
And
I'm
that's
just like,
chosen
I'm
family.
sorry, but I'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Right.
That's chosen
Yeah.
family for you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
family. That's, you know,
So just to give you an update, Michael did make it to El Paso. Now he's blown up my phone with pictures of his hotel room because I gotta see where he's living for the next couple weeks. So if you see me kind of squint, I'm sorry, I'm not squinting at you.
whatever.
Is he working right now? Is that where he's on the location where he's going to be working?
Yeah, so he finally made it. This is really funny because he was doing some work when he was in Alaska. He was working for Marathon Refinery. Now that he's in El Paso, he's working for Marathon Refinery. But because it's a different state, he's got to go through all of the stuff again. So he woke up this morning. He was so crotchety. Like there's cranky and then there's crotchety, right? And he was crotchety. And I called him and I'm like, hey baby, how you doing? And he's like, "Blah, blah, blah." I was like, oh, wait,
That good, huh?
by the Wolverine this morning? Like, what happened? And so, he finally got there and he's like, I don't understand why I have to do this all again because same refinery, rah, 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 but yeah, so he'll be there. I'm not sure. He officially starts tomorrow, so I'll know more information. But I think he's going to be there for a couple of weeks. He welds he's like one of the top welders. He can actually weld any part of the great big storage tanks that crude oil is refined in. Like he can do every single thing that needs to be done. And he's one of the few, like there's only like 2 or 3 that can do everything he can do. So he gets kind of bounced around more than other people. So they need him to weld these coils. And so that's what he'll be doing. And then he's going back to Wyoming to see his oldest daughter and the 4 grandbabies, and then coming here and then going to Baltimore. Usually his jobs last between 3 and 6 months, which is why, he once he gets somewhere, he's usually there. But this is going to be a shorter job. So
Okay.
he's kind of coming in at the tail end of it. And it's again, it's right before Christmas, and he picked up his vet and it was making a noise. So he was crotchety about that. And
Oh no.
asking about everything. And
But he had his $500 stickers.
But he what?
Right?
He had his $500 stickers.
So as far as everything you put down, Christy, you had that done. You had it. You had it wrapped
Yeah.
up.
Well, and that was the other thing. Like it got to my mom, and he'd come in and he's like, well, I'm gonna he named his Corvette Molly after Molly Ringwald because he's all about the 80s and he likes redheads.
What's
I'm
happening?
like, you just did everything wrong when you picked me. Like you were normally like tall, 6-foot, blonde-haired, blue-eyed models or redheads, and you got a hobbit. Like I don't know what you decided to do there, but hey, break the mold. So anyway, it was really funny. He couldn't find him, and then my mom couldn't find him. And so then they were panicked, and I was like, "Hey, I did my part. Like, if y'all lost him on your end, that's on you."
Yeah. Even made sure it was overnight, so it went to her doorstep.
That's right. That's right.
Sure, I get some sort of wife award for that. Just slacked off.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Lord.
So when is he due home then? With all of that, is it in a couple of weeks that he'll be, like 4 weeks maybe?
So I'm thinking he should be home between the 28th of December and the 30th of December. And then he'll be here for, I don't know, anywhere from a couple of days to maybe a week, depending on
Yeah.
when the job in Baltimore starts. Because where I live is like 8 hours from Baltimore. So he would have to drive there. So I'm probably only going to see him for a few days, maybe a week, which is about how it goes when he comes
Okay.
home. Unless I find somebody to watch the dogs, which if you've ever talked to me outside of a live, it's the whole thing. I mean, even the live, you can see what it is, but trust me, you talk to me outside of the live, I'm walking around with a wooden spoon and I'm like, don't you do that.
I just want to like have a line now that I like put in my clipboard on my phone and be like, Mikey, stop bothering Hobbit Mama.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh gosh. And then he just sits on Speedy and he chews on her back leg like it's a chicken leg. She's only got one good back leg. I'm like, hun, if you accidentally hurt her back leg, like at that point, I don't know what we're gonna do because she won't have any back legs. So let's not sit on her and chew on her back leg. And she just lays there and looks at me. She's like, I'm like, no. Defend yourself against that one.
Oh
The
my
grandpa
goodness. And then-
got a cherry eye, and so Brutus. They're both pit bulls, just different varieties.
Yeah.
But it's funny because they will sleep. Like you've seen a couple spoon, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Bulldog will sit and spoon holding each other sleeping.
Oh,
They are just
cute.
bestest friends, and it's the sweetest thing. But so the
Oh.
grandpa has a cherry eye, and Brutus thinks he's got the all healing tongue, and so he thinks he should just lick the daggum thing, and one of these days he's going to get it healed for him. It makes the most horrible, and I have like it's misophonia. It's where like certain sounds just drive me at the wall. Oh my lord! Stop!
Yeah. Yeah.
And he also Brutus
The
my
same way with my dog. Thing.
Huh?
I'm the same way with my dog. It's like I just can't handle it. It's
No.
like possessive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll hear me
yeah.
sometimes. You'll hear me. I'll be like, "Stop!" real loud. And they're like, "What is going on?" Well, because Brutus, he feels on my emotions if I get real emotional, so he has to scratch.
Mhm.
He has to. Lately, the next door neighbor is like flirting with him or something, and she's at that time, I think, and so they're acting like ridiculously awful. This 100-pound bulldog will sit and just cry and whine and be so pitiful. I'm like, come on. But every time my emotions are like really high, he'll start scratching or he'll start making some kind of daggum noise, and I'm like, I know you're emotionally supportive, but that's making it worse, son.
Yes. Yes.
Just quiet for mommy. Be quiet. Be seen and not heard. Yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah, Misha. But guys, I'm going to get off of here because I have 30 minutes to get my picture in, and that's the one thing that I've been able to. I'm pretty good on point with this, so
You know,
Excellent.
get on here and make some art real quick.
Good.
Thanks for being here, y'all.
Yeah.
Love you.
I love you so
you.
much. Mwah.
Mwah. Oh my God. Wow, it's an emotional day today. Holy cow.
for real.
Oh wow.
That wow. I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I call it my instead of what do they call it? What was it? Mean Girls. One of the Mean Girls goes, "Oh, it's like ESPN or something." And they're like so like my ESPN, it's just been going off a lot lately, and I'm understanding more and more why sometimes, and I need to start trusting it a little bit more. But I felt something, and I was just like, I need to reach out. So I wanted her to make sure that in voice, I wasn't sure if she saw the message, but I wanted to make sure she heard in voice, I do not judge. I do not care. You have your things. I have my things. We're not going to be able to get back to each other right away sometimes.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand that can be so overwhelming, just even having to think about returning a phone call sometimes. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Where it's more than I can do. And
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it can be helped.
Well, and I think, I think a person tends to feel more guilty and try to push themselves more when they're really in a place of a depressive state. I don't want to say that because they're being so hard on themselves. Like I know I am. Like when I'm really struggling, I'm so much harder on myself, and it's like I tell my kids, hey, the dirty dishes are still going to be there tomorrow, right? Like it's okay if you've got to wash two dishes. I mean, it's just, and I think it all kind of, for me, it compounds and it
Yeah.
makes it, I don't want to speak for anybody else. I'm not making anything about me, but it just kind of compounds. And you're just like, oh, I slacked there and I slacked there and I'm failing here. And you're really not. You're
Yeah.
just, you're really just doing life as best as you can.
That's it.
And that's
That's it.
why, like, and I mean, I'll just tell y'all right now, I'm terrible. I try to be good at getting back to people, but I'm not always. And it used to, I remember when I was going through college, they told me that it was a sign of disrespect to other people if you didn't get back to if you didn't get back promptly or you were late or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's it's really not. I mean, I don't take it that way. I just see it as people have things going on in their lives, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's okay to have things going on in your lives, I mean, I,
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
think
whether it is or it isn't, it's happening. What are you going to do?
right.
I've come to the conclusion that those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right on.
that's how I am with my friends. Like, oh,
Mhm.
hey, mischief.
Yeah,
And they know that my true friends know exactly what I'm going through, and those who don't, they're not my true friends.
Yes.
That's right.
So, and I know that nobody's really checked in on me, but I'm usually someone who messages people daily. But also I don't have the energy or the hand strength to text much at the moment. It burns.
Yeah.
But like, I've also come to the realization that, I can't keep in contact with all the people that try and keep in contact with me on a daily basis, and
Yeah.
it becomes
Mhm.
overwhelming. I've got, like, even just thinking of a response to hey, then hey, and then like 2 days later, hey, how many hays? I could make a whole shed of the hays I've gotten over the last week.
I've
So
decided
it's
the
just
people
like,
who let me. Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay. You go.
I was just, but like people who let me info dump, all of you let me info dump. As soon as I'm able to info dump, you're a true friend.
Yeah.
Because nobody's
Well,
judging
see,
me for it.
Yeah.
well, the thing is, I'm selective about who I info dump on nowadays, unless I want them to go away, because honestly, sometimes it makes them go away. But I actually posted this funny meme last night, and it's like, there's a magic spell to make people go away, and it's like you throw salt at them, and if they don't go away, you throw salt in their eyes. Gotta stop using my right hand. Yeah. Well, you're supposed to say "go the f away" as well. So
Okay.
I said, as a joke, I'm going to throw a piece of salt at my housemate when he comes back to get his stuff. I'll be like,
So he still has some stuff there. Is that right?
yeah, he can take his. I'm not going to have anyone. I need a break from housemates and people in my
Yeah.
house. I just want me and my son for a bit. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. Yeah, I reckon Misha's idea is a really good idea because people just need to be heard.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really enjoyed that last little giggle as I was at the sink. so I was like laughing. So it's probably the funniest skill I've ever had.
Mhm.
Sorry.
But you're okay when you
yeah.
jumped off, and you're okay now?
Yeah, as I said, it's my body just can't handle the phlegm that seems to be produced by the flu.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I never knew that vomiting was a sign of the flu. I always just thought something I do from anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've had flus where that's been a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's just my natural state. So I didn't notice, but I'm doing it. So I'm doing it all throughout the day. I used to just do it in the morning.
Yeah.
So
Ah. Mhm.
so and no, I'm not pregnant because I've been spayed. I've had an ablation. I can't. No, I've had that's where they burn the lining of your the womb. So I've got a hostile womb and no tubes.
So you're not having any more babies.
No more babies.
I just want to check in.
Two.
Mischief said that she had a bad day as well. I just want to know that she's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the comments. I can't scroll down on this one.
I
Yeah.
cannot see comments. I said, I don't know what's going on with my electronics over here, but they need to get
Oh,
right with themselves.
I think they're
how's
taking on
your
Mikey's mind frame of just interrupting you.
Yeah, they're like, and then today
Miss-
everybody is. It's like ping, 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 and I'm like, oh my, you guys, you know. I tell everybody. I don't tell everybody necessarily what I'm doing. I'm like, I got a live. I'll call you when I'm done. But of course,
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I that's what I spent the first part of the meeting on today, Mischief. It hit me hard.
Yeah.
I don't know, and
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to hear that news, and B, I wasn't expecting it to hit me as hard as it did, but it did.
Yeah. Also, Mischief, are you feeling any better? And how's your daughter after her surgery?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a lot of emotion all at once, personal emotion, and then these, what do they call them? Para relationships, like where you just watch the individual.
Parasocial.
Thank you, parasocial. So you feel like you know them.
Yeah.
That's the,
And he was very transparent with
Yeah.
himself and very generous with himself,
yeah.
sharing of himself. And so somebody like that, you do feel like you've gotten to know.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, I think I'm connecting very much to, for example, SPTV channels. And I couldn't figure out why before the separation, but it's because I want to be that survivor. I wanted to be that strong enough person to walk out of my situation.
Yeah.
And I wasn't then, but I'm able to say I'm strong enough now. It's been over a month and I'm still away. I've never been able to do that. So this is good.
You are that
And
person
it was
now.
like, yes, yes,
This is good.
yes. So it was like, oh my God, I feel like a fighter. I'm starting to feel like a survivor. And it's like, okay, I honestly looked at him like he was the biggest fighter. So for me, it hit. It was like, oh my God, like what I'm relating with right now is what I see him as. So it's not that it's gonna, not like any dangerous thoughts are gonna happen, but it's still, it hits you when you feel connected to that person. You figure out why. So slow recovery for both, I'm afraid. I'm feeling a little better. It's small text. My daughter has
To realize she's had 2 surgeries. She just
Oh.
wants to be a Christmas fairy and she can't this year.
Oh,
Oh,
love. Oh, goodness. The longer, yeah, he couldn't get me out of the house for more than a week.
Also, hi, Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It takes up to 7 times. Like as I said, I've done the training, basic training. It takes up to 7 times on average. So that's on average. So some people it can take a lot more. Some people it takes the first time.
Yes.
This is in Australian studies
I would
for a
think that
woman.
that would be the least amount of thing that's the one that can leave the first time.
Yeah.
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 To leave and not go back. 1, because they get love bombed into going back, and 2, because they don't have the financial stability and
Yeah.
all the support network. And there's so many reasons people go back, and
Yeah.
and genuine love is a reason as well, and thinking that it will change.
Yeah. But they won't. And I found love in a different place, and it's not romantic love, and I'm happy with that. So I have my tribe, I have my people now, and that's what matters. I'm able to feel connected without having to deal with crap, which is nice.
Right on.
What is it?
I have thermal ablation on my womb, and it was a great success. No hysterectomy.
That's basically what I did, because I couldn't. I was looking after my kids at the time, and I didn't have 6 weeks to take off to have a major operation, which is what a hysterectomy is. Ablation is a day surgery. You walk in, walk out, and it's just like a really period.
You're just in a little bit of pain after. Some pain meds is what they sent me home with as well, and that was it.
Okay.
I got Panadol. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, a couple of weeks later, they ended up taking my ovaries too. They're like, no, we did the wrong thing. Your ovaries are really the problem. And I was like, oh, great. Take those, why don't you?
Yeah, no, I need I decided to keep the ovaries because I didn't want to go into early menopause, which is something that can kick it in.
Yeah, menopause is no fun.
Mm.
Yeah, but I'm going on a going on a manopause.
Oh goodness.
Well, it's been a little bit of a. Okay. I had a hysterectomy, and they made me wait until I was 37 to get it. I didn't want or have any kids. It's still top 3 things I ever did. Okay, so wonderful to not get a kid.
Yeah, I wanted one.
Well,
I asked them to take it out.
Right on.
I asked them to take it out like when I was having my daughter because I had a C-section. I was like, "Can you take the rest out too?" And they said, "No, you're too young." So I was 22, and I was like, "What? You're right. You're right there."
I had my tubes tied at 27, and they were not going to do it because I was too young. And they said, what if you get divorced and you get remarried and you want to have kids? And I looked at them and I'm like, do it. I already have 3 children. That's all I want. If you won't do it, I will go somewhere else and pay somebody else 5 times more money to do it for me. Do you know, this is a true story. This irritates me. I had to have my ex-husband sign a piece of paper saying it was okay for me to be sterile.
No,
he had
really?
to sign it. Yes, I am dead serious.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I looked at the doctor. Now, me personally, I have never been in a position where I needed to do this. And I support everybody's right to choose what's right for them. Okay. But I'm like, so you mean to tell me I could have an abortion and my husband would never have to know? But in order for me to have my tubes tied, I have to get his permission. And I looked at him and I'm like, you better sign that piece of paper right now. And I had to fight for that. And I have really bad tumors and fibroids in my uterus. And they wouldn't take everything because they said I was too young and it would throw me into menopause. So they refused. So I finally, I was just, but I couldn't believe it. I mean, I could not believe it. I had to get my husband's permission to have that happen. And I was like, no, but it just kind of showed me like, wow, I
insane.
For all the things we've fought and everything that we've had happen for us as women, we still don't have autonomy over our own bodies when it comes to a really important part of our lives. Like today it gets me fired up still.
Still, yes. I don't
I'm
blame
like,
you.
Yeah. Did it bring on menopause? Mischief wants to know. I was menopause age anyway, and it did with me. Lasted 10 years, but I'm over it now. Thank goodness. Yes.
Not for me. It was actually meant to stop me from having like flow again. But I had was it endometriosis? So they said there's a high chance it's likely to not last very long, and it didn't. But it's a whole different thing now, a whole kettle of fish. I don't even know it's coming, except for I've got a tracker. So and also I seem to get a little bit moody, emotional. I get emotional. So, but yeah. But I feel like I've had a thing if everybody else has.
Yeah, I was gonna say my I've got some critters I gotta go see about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some fluff.
Yeah. I think I had a meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've definitely had a meeting.
Yeah, we've touched a lot, and I feel good at the end of it.
Yeah.
So I feel I've had a meeting.
I always feel good at the start of it too, even though just seeing everybody's face and just even if I'm not on, just fly. Right hand, I did it with this time. Well, my left. Yeah.
The hand that does work.
Yeah.
The other left or the other right, we don't know right now.
Yeah.
Do you mind leading us into box breathing and whatever else you feel like doing?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and do that. So let's do 3 of the box breaths. So for anybody who's new, we breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and exhale until all of the air is out of your lungs. Let your shoulders drop. We're going to do that for a count of 3, and then we'll do a little guided meditation. And at the end, when we're all done, I'll say whenever you're ready, open your eyes. So go ahead and close your eyes. Drop into your heart space, however that looks for you, whether you put your hands on your heart or you imagine a little version of yourself walking into a room that represents your heart and just sitting there in that love that is always constant in your heart. We're going to go ahead and do our box breathing. So go ahead and breathe in, hold, and exhale. Letting those shoulders drop on the exhale. Breathe in, hold, and exhale. And again, breathe in, hold, and exhale. I want you to imagine yourself sitting in your favorite place, whether that's with your toes in the sand next to the ocean as the sun dips down below the horizon, seeing the beautiful orange, pink, and red colors, or whether that's a beautiful field in the springtime as the flowers are just starting to open, feeling a beautiful breeze blow on your face and seeing all the gorgeous colors. Perhaps you're in a cozy cabin in the mountains with a beautiful fire and the snow outside as everything is quiet. I want you to take a moment to sit and to imagine what it would be like to be truly heard in your thoughts. What is it that you are wanting to say that you really want to be truly heard in? And I want you to imagine that your favorite person in the world is sitting across from you, just listening, not speaking, not talking, giving you a beautiful smile. Take a moment and think about this thing that you really need to be most heard about right now and what you need to be most understood with for. And speak that out into the universe to the person who loves you so much. Now I want you to imagine that that person smiles at you warmly, gets up, and gives you a big hug and says to you, I see you, and I hear you, and I love you. Sit with that for just a moment, that good feeling of being seen by someone that you love, heard, and understood, and not having them say anything back to you. And as you look off into the distance, take a smile and know that each one of us in this group, no matter where we're at in the world, is sending you all of the love, comfort, wisdom, peace, and joy that you need right at this moment. And then take a moment to receive all of that wisdom, love, comfort, peace, and joy back. When you are ready, after you've sat in that beautiful energy, open your eyes.
Thank you.
So
Thank
calming.
you. Yes.
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
I need to teach the wee one to like come over at the right time. Huzzah!
Yeah, I actually use box breathing or even just breathing last night to slow down my heart rate every time I woke up to try and calm down. So you have made a massive difference in my life, Christy, because when I was doing it in DBT Light, I've got to go. My sister's calling. So I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Love yous. Bye. Bye.
Welcome. No, they're calling Christy. Yes.
Bye, everyone. I will see you
Yes.
tomorrow, hopefully with less complications with my phone. Have a good night.
You too, Christy. I'm glad you popped in, Stasia.
Thank you. It was a big, long day, but Wee Man heard you guys in the shower, and he's like, but now I need to say hi. I'm like, well, then you have to get dressed. I love it. I love how he's reacting. He's like, we need to go to meeting now. But I will let you go. You got fur things to take care of, and I got a human thing that needs extra sleep tonight. All right. Love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, thank you, you guys. And it was a little different today, and I appreciate you being there. And, and we can all share in this together. I appreciate you guys very much. And hope to see you tomorrow. And until then, peace.